A volcano is one of the most unforgiving natural phenomena on Earth. Deep beneath its surface lies molten rock, magma hot enough to melt nearly anything it touches. If you were to fall into a volcano's lava-filled center, your body would quickly burn, bubble, and disappear without a trace. It's nature's ultimate incinerator. So if volcanoes are so good at getting rid of things, has anyone ever thought about using them to dispose of our trash? Could we dump our garbage into volcanoes and let the lava destroy it forever? How would we even transport all that waste? And more importantly, what dangers would we be risking? This is Hypothetical Earth, and today we're asking one question. What would happen if we dumped our trash into volcanoes? Americans alone generate around 254 million tons of trash every year. And at first glance, throwing all that garbage into a volcano might sound like the perfect solution. Problem solved. Trash gone forever. But in reality, it's not nearly that simple. Volcanoes might look like nature's garbage incinerators, but they're actually far more dangerous, far more unstable, and much harder to access than you might think. So the question becomes, would overcoming these obstacles be worth it? Or would dumping our trash into volcanoes only create an even bigger environmental disaster? The first obstacle would be finding the right volcano. Across the entire planet, there are only about 1,500 potentially active volcanoes, and most of them aren't located anywhere near major cities. For obvious reasons. That means transporting massive amounts of trash to one of these volcanoes would be extremely expensive. And even after all that effort, we might discover something disappointing. The volcano we chose might not even be the right type. The ideal volcano for trash disposal would be something called a shield volcano. Shield volcanoes erupt slowly. Instead of violent explosions, they produce large pools of flowing lava known as lava lakes. These glowing lakes of molten rock slowly spill across the landscape, making them seem like perfect natural furnaces. Unfortunately, shield volcanoes are relatively rare. Instead, most volcanoes on Earth are their far more dangerous relatives, stratovolcanoes. Stratovolcanoes are known for their violent explosive eruptions. Inside them, hot gas and magma build up enormous pressure. When that pressure finally releases, the eruption can send ash, rock, and lava blasting kilometers into the sky. In other words, probably not the safest place for the world's garbage dump. But let's imagine we do manage to find the perfect shield volcano. Now comes the next problem, actually getting the trash inside. If you were one of the first waste collectors assigned to this job, driving a truck up to the edge of a volcano, you might quickly start questioning your career choices. The vent of a volcano is an incredibly dangerous environment. Toxic gases leak out of the ground, lava bursts into the air, and molten rock can splatter in every direction. But the real danger might begin the moment we start throwing trash inside. In 2002, a group of Ethiopian researchers conducted an experiment. They tossed a 30-kilogram bag of trash into a lava lake. The result? An explosion. Lava lakes are extremely unstable. Their surfaces constantly shift and crack. When something cold, like a bag of garbage, hits the lava, it instantly cools the surface layer. That sudden cooling can trap hot gases beneath the crust, and when the pressure finally escapes, it can trigger a violent chain reaction. Explosions of steam, gas, and molten lava. Now imagine scaling that up. Instead of a single bag of trash, picture an entire nation's waste being dumped into the volcano. The explosions could be enormous. In Hawaii, large rocks falling into lava lakes have blasted molten lava 85 meters into the air. That's nearly the height of a 30-story building. A massive garbage dump could trigger eruptions just like that, and even if we somehow managed to dump the trash safely, another problem would remain: air pollution. Burning garbage inside a volcano would release massive amounts of toxic gases. Normally, waste incinerators use filtration systems to capture harmful chemicals before they enter the atmosphere. But a volcano has no filters, which means pollutants would escape directly into the air, and not everything would completely dissolve in lava. Some materials could survive long enough to be blasted back out during future eruptions. Those remnants could contaminate the surrounding land, spreading pollution across entire regions. Not exactly ideal, especially if we were hoping to dispose of hazardous materials like nuclear waste. And there is one more problem: transportation. Shipping millions of tons of garbage across long distances to remote volcanoes would require enormous amounts of fuel. That would drastically increase the carbon footprint of our waste disposal systems. At that point, the entire plan starts to look like a terrible idea. If we're going to burn our trash, why not do it somewhere safer? Modern waste incinerators can actually convert heat from burning garbage into electricity, turning trash into energy. Or maybe there's an even more extreme solution. What if we launched our garbage into space instead? Surely that couldn't have any negative consequences, right? Well, that's a question for another hypothetical Earth.